I see a lot of people defending even more paid content in games, calling people broke. And it's got to be mostly undeveloped prefrontal cortexes. Yeah. I agree. I think people that are calling each other broke are usually people that don't understand the value of $100. So, I don't know. Kids will really be out here spending $100 of their parents' money on Robux, thinking that that's cool. And then they have to get food in college. And there's a week where they need to eat. There's no food being served that they can get with their little pass. They have to go out and they're like, oh my God, I spent $5,000 this week. And they're like, oh. They don't understand the value of money. They just don't. They just don't. It's one thing if like you understand the value and you're spending, your own $100 on horse girls, right? Like, but that's because it's your own money and you get it. But, you know, unfriendly reminder that $100 is still nearly 2 full days of minimum wage work. Yep. Yeah, pre-tax. Yup. So, I don't know. Thoughts on measuring value by hours per dollar? Value of what? Value of what? You have to, I don't know what you are referring to. You gotta narrow that one down. If parents are fine with them spending $100 on Roblox, they'll be bankrolled a while. Yeah. Yeah. Value of game, like gameplay hours per dollar price. I do a mix. So when I decide if I like a game, the on paper objective value is that for me. Like gameplay hours per dollar is a big part of it. But then I also have the subjective factor of how much did I love that game? How good was the experience? Whether I'm going to replay it or not. So there will be some games that like the value, the dollar per hour of game isn't that high, but I loved the experience and I would go back and do that again. I'd spend that money again and do it a second time if time went back, you know? So I just do both, but I do think that's important, but I think you have to have the subjective part there as well, because some people will be like, oh man, you want to play Outer Wilds? Why don't you just buy Isaac and play it for 3,000 hours? And I'll be like, okay, but the Outer Wilds experience is better. Okay, like, you know what I mean? So both. That's too subjective. I mean, there's no way to make it objective and do right by it, in my opinion. Data's complex, okay? And if you like rated how much you enjoyed a game from 1 to 10, and then you did these things and did those things and tried to quantify, yeah, you could do that and like set games up against each other in a spreadsheet for yourself. But that's your own taste, which is why you have to just let yourself be subjective about it, you know? Yeah, you said valuing subjective experiences entirely by monetary values can make it feel a bit reductive. Right, I think it's still important, so you just have to factor both, that's all. You struggle to quantify anything. A lot of my old work was finding ways to quantify everything as best as possible to come up with solutions for things as best as possible. So I don't want to brag, but this is a thing I've had to do a lot. Okay, and I know how this works. And you just have to give subjective rating systems to stuff, typically. And just know that it will move in shape over time and change, and it's whatever, you know? It's whatever. This is why you assume value in a range, right? So you make like a tier list. A tier list is a good example. Take games that you like and tier list them, and then the two factors are like what I said, like the value per hour, dollar per hour of what you got out of the game and how much you spent on it, that ratio. And then subjectively, just how much did you like it? You take those two things and then you throw them in a tier list and you just put them in batches and buckets. And yeah, some things will be at the higher range, the higher end of that range, lower end of that range, but they're in the same range. And you just throw them in a bucket. There you go. Because then that gives room for someone else to look at that and feel differently, but still keep them within those ranges. You know what I mean? It's okay to try to like maybe whittle it down a little, but keep those ranges big and vague on purpose because they're so subjective. You know what I mean? When you took your project management certification, you nearly panicked when you had to subjectively create a budget for a project. Yeah. Yeah. Some of the best workers and things like that are the people who can sit there and properly create a range based off of vibes, right? The people that can do that and be like 9 times out of 10 pretty close or correct, those people are crazy valuable and they're so much smarter than people realize. The people that can do that, it's insane. It's insane. That shit's fun though. Do you research games before deciding to get them to the value lines? Nope. Nope. I research them simply to see if I would like to play them. That is all. And I am a really frugal person in my daily life. So I let myself just buy games sometimes and maybe it doesn't work out. Right? The two things that I allow myself to just spend money on sometimes are food, letting myself eat whatever food I want and not going for struggle meals like I used to all the time, and playing games, because that is the thing I like to do. That's it. Everything else, yeah, I'm really like anal about the cost effectiveness or the value or whatever, but you know, those two things, since they're the things I do like most often or the most in general, you know, I never feel compelled to type, I don't want to be mean, but you kind of look like shit.